Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to invite some of my team with me. So with that, Trish and Casey, will you please come out? So my name is Alex Phillips. I'm the CIO for NOV, and we're going to talk about our journey and some of that pain that Jay mentioned, that change isn't always easy. But first, before I begin, Trish, why don't you introduce yourself?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Patricia Gonzalez-Clark, and I'm VP of IT Infrastructure.
Casey?
Hello, everyone. I'm Casey Lee. I'm Director of IT Security.
Thank you. And of course, we have to have our legal slide. We'll go by that quick. And so for those that don't know who NOV is, we are a company that powers the industry that powers the world. We all love electricity. We all love our vehicles. And historically, we've mostly concentrated on helping these companies get hydrocarbons out of the ground, oil and natural gas. But as the world changes, so do we. And we found that we're really good at also doing geothermal. You have to drill holes in the ground, and helping companies install offshore windmills. And we're a large company. We're not near as large as we used to be, but we're pretty decent size, spread all over the world. And our IT mission that we really focus on is to provide secure, cost-effective information technology anytime, anywhere, on almost any device. We no longer support BlackBerries. And so, just a little background. Back in 2014, we were a very legacy company. We were comfortable. We didn't want to change, right? We had hub and spoke, MPLS everywhere, very comfortable. But we experienced a driver, a change agent called pain. And for us, it was the worst pain possible. Are we going to be gone as a company, or are we going to survive? Well, we decided we need to survive. But the drop in oil price was drastic. And this is in 2014. We went from $100 oil, we do whatever we want, to $35 oil. And so we felt that, we kind of do what we want. But we've shrunk rapidly. We went from $24 billion in revenue to $7 billion in revenue. We went from 65,000 employees to 35,000 employees, and we did not spin off or divest anyone. So it was extremely painful. Not only did we have that pain, the industry as a whole was moving to the cloud. We saw that all of our appliances that we had everywhere were outdated, end of life, time to upgrade. And we had to find cost savings. I mean, it was like there was no option. I have to shave tens of millions of dollars from my budget. So what do? Well, we circled the wagons. Here's our imperative. And we set about two priorities. We didn't want to be cloud first. We wanted to be cloud smart. In 2014, we had heard of way too many companies that everything's going to the cloud and then they see the bill. Or they have to repatriate items back on-prem because it just didn't work. The second thing that we really needed to think about was, how do we transform our legacy network thinking and our legacy security thinking and do it in a way that is never trust, always verify? We didn't know at the time that's called zero trust. We just knew we needed to do it. And we knew that we would have to explore new partners. When we went back to our old appliance partners, they said, buy more appliances. And we're like, that just doesn't feel right. We can't do that. We don't want to replace our existing tech debt with new tech debt. And so we began our transformation journey. Now, transformation journeys are fascinating, and I've got two helpers here today. And so we're going to hear the perspective of the CIO, security, and networking or infrastructure. I thought it might be helpful to hear the pros and cons and what they were thinking, and a little inside baseball into the debates that happened on our journey. Now, everyone's hope when they start a transformation journey is it's a day at the beach, right? It's going to be easy. This is going to be wonderful. But you know that there's a fear too. What if this doesn't go well? And so I thought the best way to help show the fear, right? This is what we're fearing, is to show some stupidity that I did. So we're going to be on a little ride here, maybe a little longer than it should be. This is meant to be funny, so laugh. Those of you that have done the same stupidity, you may not laugh as much, but this will help build some trust and honesty with us all. So here we go. you kind of see where this is going, don't you?
That was a big branch. Hopefully Alex doesn't pull an AJ and it knock him off the ladder.
This branch is going down, but it's not going alone.
Hello, I'm R.J. Laverne with the Davey Tree Expert Company, and today we're going to be talking about properly pruning this oak tree. If you encounter on your oak tree a larger branch that needs to be removed, make sure that you call a qualified professional arborist and they'll safely do the pruning for you.
Uh-oh, what? Did it get stuck?
You have to have slow-mo.
Don't forget, wear the proper protective equipment, use the three-step approach, making your final cut, and work safe every time. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, so now you've seen stupidity. My company's HSE department actually uses that video to help train the rest of the company how not to do things. And so when you're on this journey and you have pain, right? You're thinking, oh my gosh, this is gonna be bad. It's not gonna be this bad, right? Your spine's not gonna look like this afterwards. It's not gonna have a T12 fracture. It's not gonna be a big mess. The transformation journey, it'll go along, it'll be fine. Ladders shouldn't look like this. They're not supposed to be bent. This is fascinating. I couldn't fly for 3 months. The neurosurgeon gave me this wonderful letter, said I can't fly for 3 months. Then he gave me a letter that said, but you can go back to work after 1 month. This was my new best friend, right? You gotta wear a back brace so that you can function, so that your back can heal. But I had Mountain Dew Kickstart, so that helped. It's really good. And, uh-oh, that wasn't supposed to be in there. Oh, I know why it's in there. Call, don't fall. In the room where I'm trying to get better, I'm getting reminders of what I did stupidly. And this is me on drugs. So anyway, your journey's not gonna be that bad, right? So the first phase that we really went on as we're trying to figure out how are we gonna survive was we needed improved collaboration. Microsoft 365 was the direction that we thought we needed to go. We had lots of debates, and because it was such a radical change, infrastructure said,
Wow, today we have email exchange distributed globally in regional POPs. And when we move this to Microsoft in one geography, how is that gonna run? At the same time, we were thinking, gosh, it sure would be nice not to update and patch 100 Exchange servers globally. That's an awful lot of work.
and as we look at it from a security standpoint, we're looking at adopting a multi-tenancy cloud service. What does security think?
Well, I mean, security was so happy, right, in the beginning. So, I mean, everyone can kind of vouch for that, right? Everything's going to the cloud means no more attack surface. I mean, one server's off, you know. And so what's that mean? You really do not have anything to kind of worry about, right? But on the flip side, Jay kind of say about that, you know, change, you know, is uncomfortable. In this case, we are in the cloud. So what about the multi-tenancy, you know, to do with our data? How are we protecting that? How's the, you know, Microsoft's protecting that for us? So it's a debate.
And it was a good internal debate, and it was one that was worth having. But the pain, the drivers forced us in this direction. We didn't want to go this way. We were happy with what we were doing, but we did. And so we adopted Microsoft 365, moved everything up to their services. It's been wonderful. It's actually one of those, why didn't we do this sooner? The next phase of our journey was that we realized that all of our security stack was getting old, our network equipment was getting old, so we knew that we needed to change how we use the internet. We looked at 3 steps in this phase. First, how do we obviously get rid of this legacy security stack? The second was more around how do we adopt the internet as our new network? Can we get rid of MPLS, drive out millions of dollars in cost? And the third part was around TLS encryption. There's stuff hiding there. But as we debated internally, infrastructure.
We were really happy about this change because we had over 10 global egress points for our hub and spoke network with a complex security stack. And when it broke, it was very complex to figure out which layer of the stack was causing the problem. But at the same time, we had to make sure that it performed where we are. We're in over 60 countries. So would it work in countries like Korea or Australia or in China? And those were some concerns that we had.
And when we looked at security,
Well, the first thing right off our mind from the security was like, Alex, what? I mean, because like we have the best of the breed solutions at our network perimeter, and it's like, it doesn't make sense. But as we peeling off, looking into the ZIA, it was like we were trail on what it brings to us, from security perspective. 3 main things, right? Alex mentioned about SSL decryptions. This is the problem back 2016 when we started off. Well, we were trying to kind of figure out how do we do SSL decryption on our 70% of our traffic, right? We have best of the breed solution, but it's looking at 30%. What are we gonna do? We're cracking our head, we're talking to operations, no solution. And as we're talking to Zscaler, it's like, oh, wow. With the Zscaler, it's just a few steps away, turning it on in the cloud. Was like, it's wonderful. So, I mean, security is, again, happy.
And so we adopted Zscaler. And Zscaler helped us architect this and said, here's a 90-day plan, and I'm never satisfied with plans. So I'm like, all right, let's do it in 30 days.
Nope.
Oh. Well, we did it in 6 weeks. We were really close. It actually took us a full 60 days, though, to reach some of these harder countries. Back in 2016, the Middle East was a little more challenging to do full coverage. But we got it out, and we were really pleased with it. The second phase of this was the local internet breakouts. And so we knew that our MPLS network, while it really gave lots of confidence to our network team, we knew that it was way too expensive. We couldn't afford it anymore. And so we're still in this journey. We have tons of contracts, there's different expiration times, but we've seen over 4x in savings, millions of dollars. And our users have seen a 20 times improvement many times in speed. They no longer have to hub through a central place. They can go directly to their SaaS apps, get to the things they need much more rapidly. And the TLS decryption, right? How do we look at encrypted traffic? This is a snapshot from today, well, not today, earlier in the week, but 96% of our traffic is now encrypted. If you're not doing SSL decryption, what are you looking at? For us, it would be 4% of the traffic.
Yeah.
Right? So this is critical. And the big fear that security had going into this was, is Zscaler going to be good enough? We have best of breed security stack, best of breed security appliances. And security, what happened?
Look at that. Since we have it rolled out, everything's, like no more reimage. That's, support our good friends.
Yeah, and we attribute this to decrypting SSL traffic. The bad guys were obviously hiding in that traffic and delivering malware directly to the endpoint. With SSL decryption, Zscaler could see it and stop it before it reached our endpoints. Really huge for us. The next phase that we looked at was because, once again, we had old legacy appliances and we had remote access into our internal network. And so we started thinking, what do we do? How do we deal with this? We have a lot of different versions of these. So infrastructure?
Actually, we were excited about the change as well. We had a complex job of managing multiple global VPN appliances with a licensing model that was based on concurrent connections. And for a large global company, we were balancing inbound traffic to the appliances to make sure people could connect. And at times, that was a challenge. So, not to mention, we were managing each box with a separate management plane, so it wasn't managed concisely. And so, really problematic. But when you start looking at new technology, some other thoughts are well, will all my applications work with the technology? And those were some of the things that we were concerned about.
And of course, this is a total change for us. So I'm like, security, how do you feel about this?
Well, I mean, you have to remember, we are looking at a ZIA already. So, and as we're looking into it, deep dive into the ZPA, we were like, this is awesome. As like, Alex kind of asking us, it's like, this is way awesome, right? Overall, why? We're talking about Exchange going away, no more attack surface, right? For people to kind of knock on our door. This is exactly what it is, because you really cannot attack what you cannot see. So, it's a clear win for IT security with the ZPA. And because our attack surface now, -2, means that 2 more that we're chipping away.
Yeah, so we decided to go forward with Zscaler Private Access, rolled it out to the entire company. Lots of lessons learned, but it's provided us a great way, especially with M&As. We do a ton of M&As, and this has been key for us. And it's policy-based, and it works anywhere, right? Anytime, on almost any device. Which, when the 2020 pandemic came around, we were ready. We have offices in China, and so we were starting to see the work from home movement in early February. And we kind of went, uh-oh, what if this goes worldwide? And so I gathered my team together and I said, infrastructure, are we ready?
And so we huddled together. It was spring break of March of 2020. And we said, okay, what do we need to do? And we decided to roll out the ZPA agent to all of our endpoints. This is including all the desktops. And at the time, I was in Disney World, and when I came back home, no one came back to the office, and we transitioned seamlessly. And so it was pretty impressive. We were like, wow, this is too easy.
Yeah, it was quite fascinating. Security, did you have concerns about this?
Well, I kind of mentioned it's a win for us from the ZPA route perspective. And all of a sudden, we got all users using it. And that is phenomenal. So this is like ZPA on steroid, right? Because everyone's going to be accessing it from home, any place. And this is one of the challenges that we have back then, because we can see a lot of the stuff internal when we inside the networks. But once you kind of get out, be at home and whatnot, this is where we sort of lacking, some of the visibility. So when this roll out to everyone's, is another phenomenon that security score.
Yeah, and it was fascinating. Because of the transformation we have done, our users were ready to work remotely. The one thing that didn't work well was our business telephony system, but we've since addressed that. Weird what you learn when everybody's not in the office. But I started polling around the world. Hey, how is everything? How's it working? And they're like, it's fine, Alex, why are you asking? And I'm like, we just went from less than 2,000 concurrent users working remotely to almost 10,000. That's a big deal. And they're like, no, it's not, it just works. So I didn't get any kudos, but that's okay, right? Another thing that we kind of worked in, we call it phase 4, but it's been happening over quite some time, is cloud transformation. Remember I said we want to be cloud smart, not cloud first, not cloud only. And so we kind of looked at where does it make sense? Should we move everything to cloud? Should we not? And we did a lot of analysis, and most of that fell on infrastructure.
It sure did. And so the team analyzed the workloads, the geographies, the business need. And when we took a look at it, we still needed to support our legacy workloads. We needed to support agile and fast development. And so we decided on a hybrid strategy. And we also needed multiple cloud partners.
It's a good point. Security, what's your thought about multiple clouds and colo?
Well, from the cloud transformation perspective, like from the security side, we really kind of aim for that, because that we see a lot of good things from the security perspective in the cloud. Now, we do have a concern, right, because we have staffing and expertise issue in the cloud. So how do we build the cloud securely, and how do we, build it correctly? And, but the whole Zscaler things kind of help us is that, well, we're able to chip away more and more of the attack surface that we expose to the outside, through solution like Zscaler, ZPA.
So we decided that we're going to go forward with select cases that work best for us. All of our customer-facing applications, we felt it made the most sense to put them in AWS, where we could tightly control, have a tight blast radius, get certifications. Just like we expect of Zscaler to have certifications, our customers expect the same from us. And the second part was interesting. While we decided we had scale in the Americas to do our own colo and data center due to cost, around the world we didn't have that scale. And so it made a lot more sense for us to move to Azure for those regional data centers. And when you look at our journey, we really kind of broke it down like this. Back in 2016, we were cloud explorers. We were playing, we knew nothing, we didn't have internal skill sets. By 2018, we felt more comfortable. We're getting our feet underneath us. It's a journey, right? You've got to learn. And by 2020, we felt that now when we were faced with business challenges, cloud was always in that thought process. Should we use the cloud? How should we handle this? And this next phase is probably my most exciting phase. And it came from the pandemic. All of our users are working remotely. Did we see massive security increase? No. Yeah, and so I'm like, okay, team, we've got all these people working remote. Now they're coming back to the office. Why do we have this big flat network? Why can't we do zero trust for our facilities? Why can't I make my facilities like a Starbucks or an internet cafe? This makes no sense. So I'm like, hey, infrastructure, next week, let's move everybody to just be islands.
Hold up, Alex. We have to manage network switches, routers. We have barcode scanners. We have printers. These are all things that we need to connect to. How are we going to do it?
Yeah, but security likes it, right?
Yes. I was like, when, Trish?
So how do we deal with this? And so we challenged a number of our partners, and we were really excited with what Zscaler came back with, and started talking to us about, hey, we can be your Zero Trust Exchange. We proved we can do this for users. They worked fine. They didn't even complain, right? And so why can't we do this for the offices? And so our goal, our journey going forward, we're excited about this phase, working closely with Zscaler. We're going to take our 500 plus facilities and make them to where they're just islands, low blast radius. And the thing I love and the beauty of it is, it's not a big bang approach. I can start with one facility and slowly do this and have learnings, right? This is new, but we believe that we'll actually achieve zero trust doing this. This also makes us think about some more forward-looking things about cloud workloads. How should we do this, right? Do we need to think about secure posture? Security's always worried about that. And we need to get rid of our routing. I'm a fundamental believer that we have to get the users off our network first. That's the biggest bang for the buck. Then we'll worry about micro-segmentation of our workloads. But that's kind of how I look at it. And so we're happy to say that we're all in on zero trust, and we're very, very glad that we picked a partner that is growing in this space and leading in this space with Zscaler. And so we're all in with Zscaler. We're signing our third contract with them this week, and we're excited to do that. But it does bring about an interesting thought. If Zscaler doesn't work, NOV doesn't work. Remember how I said that we're going to have the internet as our new network? Well, the truth of the matter is Zscaler is our new network, and Zscaler always has to work. And so we're excited that the past has proven that they're extremely reliable, and we're excited about some of the DR capabilities that they're working on for the future. So there's a few lessons we learned along the way. Architectural change brings about a mindset and cultural change. We talked to our employees about this journey as we were going on it, and we let them know, look, we understand not everybody's going to like this journey, but this is something we've got to do. Most adopted it and love it. Some decided that it wasn't for them and they left. You have to be ready for that. It will happen. You need to choose an integrated platform. We had little knowledge when we started. We were just fortunate we chose Zscaler that would grow in this space and help us. And you need to select a partner that has a mission-critical platform. And find quick wins. Don't try and boil the ocean. Boiling the ocean, when I've tried it, doesn't seem to work, right? But if I can get those quick wins, then I can get the momentum and I can get the belief that we will succeed. And my final thought is, transformation is a journey without a final destination. When we began, we had no clue about zero trust. We had no clue that this was the actual direction we would go. And so with that, I'd just like to say thank you very much.